Whoa!
Whoa.
Where on earth are we? What is this place?
Jeremy, how did you get here? How did we get here?
I have no idea. This must be that kingdom that Ashley and Patricia were. They said they had found some kind of magical kingdom.
Yeah, it looks
And
pretty amazing.
somehow we're here.
We're here. Oh yeah, this was the kingdom they were talking about. I remember that now. We thought they were just making it up.
Totally. I'm a little surprised to be here, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it does make me remember about the kingdom of God, because Jesus is always talking about that. I wonder if maybe we could learn something about that together.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely amazing. But I bet Jesus' kingdom is way better, with Jesus being the king at all. Better than like any of the kings and queens here on earth.
That's true. But not everybody thought so. I remember Ashley and Patricia talking about how when Jesus was around, he would teach and tell stories, but not everyone was super into what he had to say. A lot of people challenged him, a lot of people had different ideas.
Really? Who would do that?
Well, I do remember how they were talking about how there was this villain that was challenging Jesus, how even some of the people in his hometown didn't really trust him or believe him. And then there were other religious leaders and teachers that didn't like a lot of what Jesus was saying.
Oh, interesting. I thought they would be the ones to like most believe what he said, since they were religious and they already believed in God and the Bible.
I mean, that would make sense, but no, they had their own ideas about who God was, and when Jesus challenged some of those ideas, they got pretty upset about it.
I guess that would be hard when you feel like you already know a lot and someone comes in and tells you you're maybe wrong about some things.
Totally. It's always hard when somebody challenges you. I mean, it's good too, but it's kind of uncomfortable sometimes.
Might have been a little offended.
I know, totally.
Yeah.
Well, I do remember this one story where Jesus was teaching and a bunch of people were upset and they asked Jesus for a sign to prove he really was who he said he was, to prove that his ideas were really worth listening to.
Okay, and did Jesus give them a sign?
Well, not exactly. They wanted some kind of big, miraculous sign, and Jesus said, the only sign you'll get is the sign of Jonah.
Jonah. Like that guy from the Old Testament who got swallowed by a whale?
That guy.
Okay.
So Jesus said that just like Jonah was swallowed by this whale, lived in a whale for 3 days, but then eventually got spit up on the beach, he was going to actually die, be buried for 3 days, and then come back to life.
Oh wow. So at that point, Jesus basically predicted that he was going to die and come back to life again.
Exactly. So not exactly the kind of miraculous sign they were looking for, but still, I mean, pretty amazing. That doesn't really happen very often. It doesn't happen ever, actually.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of it, I guess.
That, I guess, is the whole point. That he didn't give them the sign that they were looking for because he kind of knew they wouldn't believe him anyways. But he did tell them what was going to happen, and they could take it or leave it.
Exactly. And then Jesus even gave them a warning. He said that the people in Jonah's time, in the city that he went to, they listened to Jonah, but that Jesus was even greater because Jonah was a prophet and Jesus is the Son of God, God here on the earth walking around, and therefore we should really pay attention to what he has to say.
It's kind of tough teaching. But I guess Jesus wasn't all sunshine and rainbows, but he told people the truth, and we could choose to trust and believe him or not.
Yeah, exactly. Because I think we all have doubts and we all have questions about the world, and sometimes we want a miracle to sort of prove things to us. But instead, Jesus says it's okay to come, ask our questions, to wrestle with ideas, and ultimately to trust him because he's worth trusting in, not because he does miracles for us.
Okay, so just like God accepted the people who trusted in Jonah's words, God accepts us when we trust and believe in Jesus.
Definitely.
Awesome.
Cool.